Good morning, everybody. Right, we're going to talk about XRP. We're going to do a deeper dive into XRP. We do these every few months, just as a bit of a rain check, really. But I still believe it to be a very good chart in the short-term timeframes, the higher-term timeframes, and fundamentally, since the SEC has basically just said, "All right, give us a fiver," they're out of the woods. That's obviously a downplay in this situation. It was more along the lines of about 160 million, but you know what I mean. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. So as far as that's concerned, they're out of the woods. So really, it's all about development and utility and growth at this point now. So let's think about the charts and what we should be thinking long term on the Bitcoin pair, the USDT pair. We'll start on the short term timeframes, but I would urge you to stay and watch the rest of the video, because we're going to look at some higher term time frame things, and I need you to understand what it is that I'm saying, because short term time frames only offer small moves. Higher term time frames offer the big whoppers, and that's what we're most interested in. And before and I can hear you. My ears are burning. I can hear what you're saying. XRP is not capable of doing big whoppers. Let me just remind you that XRP used to trade at fractions of a cent. Fractions of a cent. Now, I bought XRP at 3 cents, and that was after a significant rally already. So, we lurk around the 30 to 50 cent zone for the most part for XRP. It never came back down to square one. It's not like all those millions of other coins that come onto the market and then dump and then go down forever. It's still up over 100x from its starting price, over 100x, probably closer to 200x from its starting point. So remember that, okay? And right, let's get started then. And like I say, try and stay to the end. You'll like it. Right, so starting off with a weekly on the USDT pair, Binance above almost all moving averages. Only this 200 simple moving average, which lives around 60 to 61 cents that we've got left. We had a few problems around there. We've had these wicks above there, but really, once you've reclaimed that and built a base above 60, then it's a matter of reclaiming increments. 60, 66, 75, 90, and then 120. 120 is where I would imagine to see a large rejection, but if we keep going, then fine. But I would imagine that if the first initial run would give you a rejection. So similar to how price action often behaves for XRP, we have these big moves like this, and then retrace, and then later on down the line a much bigger move. So this next big move for XRP should take you up to 120. I'm not saying that's going to happen today or tomorrow or even next week, but as far as moving averages are concerned, it's reclaimed almost all of them. Let's have a look on the daily. This is a chart which is very different to most other altcoins, I should say, and you'll probably recognize this yourself. This isn't bias, this is reality. XRP on the daily has a golden cross on exponential moving averages. Most other altcoins, and I mean the vast majority, and we do Patreon streams twice a week, and we look at dozens of altcoins, twice a week. Almost all of them, 90% of the ones we look at are doing death crosses, retests, downtrends. XRP is doing golden cross, retest, and then really what you should be expecting would be a move up from here, a V-shaped recovery, and then some, building a trend. This is the only chart that I can think of which has a fresh golden cross that's just been retested on the daily here. It's the opposite of what all the other charts are doing, like I say 90% or more probably. This is a good chart. It's definitely a good chart. We're struggling with a Bollinger Band at the moment, and again, it's just a resistance. Once you've got above this, there is no more moving averages above us. Only horizontal areas of significance to take out. We're above the cloud. We will be looking and scrutinizing this chart, waiting for a trend signal to form on the Ichimoku cloud, which would take place once a closure is taken above 61 cents. We're waiting for the green. Oh, sorry, not the green. The blue conversion to cross the baseline for the Ichimoku cloud. The Chiku span needs to close above price action. Every other aspect of this chart is ready for a trend. So we're getting close to confirming a trend. We've got almost all moving averages reclaimed. Trend signal getting ready to form. At this rate, all we need is a closure, into the low or mid 60s, and we'll get that trend. Again, holy grail being a top target of 120. This is just short-term time frame stuff. Okay, let's have a look at the 4-hourly before we take a deeper look. Again, golden cross retest up above all the moving averages. We've got a trend signal waiting to form on this one also. In fact, if we just look a little closer, yeah, it's probably not going to be a trend signal. It's probably going to be a pump signal, if anything. We're waiting for the conversion baseline cross, and you get a pump on this one. The pump, obviously, will take you up to the next major level of resistance, 60 to 61 cents, which is where we want to close on the daily to get the trend signal. So things are looking really good, more than optimistic. Statistically, they're looking epic on the shorter term time frames. And again, I'm not calling for massive moves in the short term. I'm talking 61 cents, maybe 67, and then see if we can break that to move into the 70s and then maybe to 120. It's still big moves. It's still talking over 100%, move from here to the top target. And look, I'm not saying that you should go all in and all out at one place. I'm not saying that at all. I know everyone hears the top target and they will hold out for that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying these are they're the levels of resistance. Now, we were talking about the rounded bottom on the Bitcoin pair ages ago, and saying that if you were to move Bitcoin into any altcoin right now, it would likely be a good idea for it to be XRP. Again, people think I'm some kind of XRP shill with my little YouTube channel on XRP's payroll. It's ridiculous. I'm just telling you what I see, right? Since we've reclaimed this 20 weekly moving average on the Bitcoin pair, we've had decent attempts to rally up. It is a rounded bottom. We've had a MACD cross before the low. We've had bullish divergence on both RSI and money flow index. Everything that you'd like to see to spot some kind of reversal. And since then, we hit the first major moving average on the weekly, which is the 50 exponential moving average, which is 1,123 sats. It would have been amazing to have heard or look back at the comments when I said that this is a possibility, because that is a decent gain. Remember, if you were to flip a Bitcoin into XRP, even at this point now, you'd have 1.36 Bitcoin as a result. You could have at one point almost got, over half a Bitcoin of profit if you were to have got in at the low. I'm not saying that that's what I did at all. I'm just saying, just putting it out there. All we really want to do as crypto traders is outperform Bitcoin. Otherwise, you'd just buy Bitcoin every day, wouldn't you, really? Right, what am I going to buy? Just more Bitcoin. Portfolio of Bitcoin. It's slow, it's steady, but it wins the race, which is true. But on occasion, you will find a chart out there that is ready to rally against Bitcoin, and in this instance, it was XRP. So let's just bring it down a notch to the daily, where we don't have any confirmation of trends, such as no golden crosses, nothing like that. We're still battling with the 200 exponential to get back above there and stay above there. We're surfing a Bollinger Band center, giving you a major support of around 935 sats, which is still really quite good, to be honest with you. But it looks to me at this rate, unless we see a sustained uptrend from this level, we're not likely to see any golden crosses for maybe weeks or months, or we can't even predict it because it's so slow and we're below a 200 exponential. There's no way you'll get a golden cross while you're below that. You have to be above it and stay above it. So we're not going to talk about any kind of golden cross or confirmation of trend above this level until we get above it. But what I can say is that this looks like an ascending triangle. If we talk about the 20 moving average being the support, the 200 exponential being the resistance, we're reaching the end of the apex now, which could lead to a move down and then up, similar to how we saw this with the 50 exponential. So a breakdown or a fake breakdown and then bounce back up, and that would give you a support of 890 sats. Now let's have a look at higher term time frame stuff. So I've got two charts here, more or less the same. I just brought two up. So this is the log scale 3-month Bitstamp. This is what XRP does. So it was trading down here at 0.27%. Had its first initial rally up, and this is what XRP likes to do. It loves to consolidate. This is a 3-month chart, by the way. Each one of these candles is 3 months. Big, massive, parabolic run, all the way back down again. Massive big move back up, all the way back down again. Reached the end of the apex, and then rallied enormously. From here, consolidation. This is obviously into the bear market 2018, and then we started to rally up again. The problem at this time was the SEC got stuck in, and we failed to make a new all-time high. I reckon we should have made a new all-time high if it wasn't for that. It was the first time that the SEC really wanted to start picking on the big boys, and now that that's all finished, we're at the end of the apex once again on the 3-month chart. And normally I would say that getting towards the end of an apex is not a good place to expect a big breakout and continuation. But even that, even saying that, you know, XRP has shown us that it likes to get to the end of the apex. And so if you're trying to, you know, just trying to base trades around behavior of a particular asset, you know, whatever, then we have to look historically, how does it behave at the end of an apex? And XRP actually likes to rally at the end of an apex and break out. Yeah, it consolidates for the vast majority of its cycle thereafter, but it does. Gets to the end of the apex, bang, all the way up. It gets to the end of the apex, bang, all the way up. Gets to the end of the apex. Are we expecting a bang? Well, given what we're looking at here, I'll probably say yeah. You could do some crude measured moves, and again, this is just one way to think about it. So we talk about the top to the bottom of the mouth. We would measure that. The breakout on this would have given you a move up to 9 cents. That doesn't sound like much, does it? It really doesn't sound like much, but from the breakout, 9 cents would have been a 1,111% move. Obviously, it went higher than that. If we were to do a measured move of this mouth, where are we going to break out from? We would be targeting roughly a $5 XRP, roughly. That's what we'll be looking at, roughly. And again, I'm not going to say that that's exactly where we're going, but that's the measured move from the mouth of this last consolidation from the top to the bottom. That's where we'll be looking at. So a $5 XRP. Once you get to a $5 XRP, it is a blue sky breakout, and so it wouldn't be unusual to see it continue from there. When you see XRP get to a $5 valuation, then I'll be looking for, you know, overheated signs, because the chances of XRP sustaining higher prices, unless there's reasons for it, are unlikely, because we have to look at previous behaviors. We rally massively, we dump, consolidate for a long time. We rally massively, we dump, consolidate for a long time. Now I'm going to show you something else here. So again, this is XRP on a 3-month without the log scale. And I'm just going to show you something that you might find a little bit interesting. We're going to draw a box in. So remember, this is 3 months worth of price action. We're going to draw a box in that covers the majority of the center of the price. So it starts as low as 31 cents, which was close to being revisited recently, to as high as 60 cents, which is kind of where we are right now. And if we think about time, the time it's taken to be in this is 2,738 days. You can even extend this, to be honest with you, to these candle bodies to a point, the lower 20s. Again, this is a long time. This is 2017 to 2024, right? It's an enormous amount of price action that has lived within a relatively small range. Yeah, I know what you're going to say, but we've come down lower, we've gone up higher. The majority of the price action lives around here. And when you see that, despite the big moves up and back down again, when the majority of the price action lives down here, you could class it as accumulation, right? It's a bit of a... it's not hopium. It's also not perfect, but we are looking, I believe, at a general accumulation range, relatively small range as well, by the way, of 87%. It's not unusual to see an altcoin accumulate within a 100% range. It's not unusual to see Bitcoin accumulate within a 100% range. This is smaller than a 100% range. And we can see that on the previous log scale chart that I showed you at the end of an apex, which is where it likes to rally hard from, with a measured move to $5. And we're accumulating over, what is this, a 7-year period, 8-year period almost. Within an 87% range. So accumulations of this size, of this length, will likely end up with a massive explosion of price. It's likely to have that. That's not unlikely to see a massive explosion in price. We look at these measured moves up to the previous candle bodies. You could say, all right, we've got 97, 98, $1.98 is certainly a target. There's many targets all the way. You know, we can't just assume that we're going to go straight to $5 and have one limit order in at $5. You've got to think about every little component. So we're looking at like roughly $2 being a major support resistance also. But once all these areas have been taken out, then the blue sky breakout will go for it. I know what people are going to say. I watched a guy with a calculator talk about market cap, and it was impossible for it to reach $5 as market cap because the market cap would be 1 quadrillion, million, favillion, per billion dollars. And that's impossible. Well, no, it's not impossible because we've seen that one day you'll have a market cap of 200 favillion and the next day you'll have a market cap of minus 70. Do you know what I mean? This is crypto. It's not the same. It's absolutely not the same. So yeah, it is possible for it to hit $5, $10 and into the teens because blue sky breakouts reference nothing more than sell walls. And once you've broken all the sell walls on XRP, there's really nothing left to stop it from sailing up. You know, green candles as well as red candles are nothing more than an imbalance of the order book. People willing to buy for higher than the market price. That's what creates a green candle. And same with the reds. You know, that's people willing to sell for less than the market value, which creates a red candle. That's all it is. Battle between the market orders. Imbalance, instability. You know, that's all it is. It's not anything other than that. That's why you see low cap coins rally up so hard, because people are just pressing market buy, market buy, market buy, or market sell, market sell, market sell. A reference of emotions more than anything else. So once all the sell walls are gone, so we're talking $1.20, $2, $3.50, that's it. Then, as far as I'm concerned, blue sky breakout should easily see you double $7, $10, $12, $14 or wherever. But until we start to see that, we just got to wait. We just got to wait. And people have been waiting for a long time for XRP. Let's face it, we have been waiting for a long time. But if there's a chart out there that needs to be dissected realistically on the short and on the long term, and I said it last week on the Patreon. If there was a chart out there, an altcoin, if I had to liquidate all my assets, everything, from my house to my car, to my kidneys, to my bitcoins, to my stocks, everything. And they said, what would you buy right now if you could only hold one altcoin ever and nothing else? It would be XRP. It would be. And that sounds mad to say because it's historically known, for the most part, as a massive underperformer, where people fail to recognize what it's doing, what it's capable of, what its utility is. And again, I'm not a big fanboy of talking about functionality, utility, but it's true. It's a major player. It's not nothing. It's not spider webs and dreams. It's real stuff. It's efficient. It's got everything going for it. And now that the SEC are out the way, it really is just a matter of allowing it to fulfill its destiny, which is to create another parabolic high, back up to and above its previous all-time high, and then some. I don't think it's going to sustain those higher prices. I don't think it's going to stay up there. But would it achieve a $5 XRP? Based on the charts, it will do. That's what it says. Based on the charts, a $5 or just above XRP is definitely likely. In fact, that's what it says it wants to do, based on 2 log scale charts. And so the short-term time frames, like I say, is the only chart I can see that has got a fresh golden cross that's been retested on the daily. And it's very close to being above all moving averages on the daily and on the weekly and on the 4-hourly. It's got everything going for it across the board. Now, just as a little side note, obviously it is an altcoin, which means that it's going to be vulnerable to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin currently is not the same as XRP. It's definitely different, and Bitcoin itself is vulnerable to the S&P, which is stocks, which is vulnerable to what's going to take place in the market today, which is CPI report, which I personally think is going to be lower than expected, but that's just based on oil prices consolidating over the last month. I think that's what CPI will reflect, and will either be on point or lower. But what I'm trying to put across here is that XRP is an altcoin that can not really, for the most part, move in a vacuum, while Bitcoin and S&P and all other markets want to go down or up. It's up to XRP to probably just follow in the shadows of the larger markets. But personally, over time, we're looking at an altcoin which should achieve a $5. And once you hit $5, You know, it depends on what Captain Noobmaster wants to do. Does he want to keep market buying that stuff? Because if he does, the sell walls will be small, and you will see XRP rally up doing one of those massive parabolic moves, and it wouldn't surprise me to see it reach $10 or above. But I'm not going to call for that. I'll call for a $5 XRP, as the chart suggests. Anything other than that would be, at this stage, just speculation. But the charts do point to a $5 XRP at some point over the next year, which is pretty good return, I have to say. That is a very good return. This is just short of a 10x on a coin which has got an enormous liquidity. So it would attract not just me and you, but also whales, because they have the capacity to dump on Captain Noobmaster when the time is right. Right, that should be it. I won't need to make another XRP, most likely for a few months. It is what it is. You've seen it. I've explained it. That's what the chart says. It's not what I think. It's what the chart says. It's not that I believe this is going to happen. It's this. This is what the charts suggest can happen based on its long-term approach and the short-term time frame. It looks quite good to me. Right. If you enjoyed that, feel free to leave a comment in the description. Also, if you want to join the Patreon for more altcoin analysis, we do it twice a week, and there's links in the description below for that. There's also a Telegram. Right, thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.